Hello, everybody. I know you guys, some of you are expecting at this video. I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching and thank you for the subscribing here. Talking about Mercury retrograde and trying to get you the best as I can, the best as possible to understand it, the process of Mercury retrograde. Actually, that was my very first video on my main channel. Right there, talking about Mercury retrograde. And every time when I'm talking about the Mercury retrograde, so much been taught, so much I said, so much this. But it seems like the people still don't get some of the logic behind the retrograde mode. So I'm kind of like going to be visually explain you that here is Mercury at certain point of time, and he goes direct. But that point stays there. He moves to another place. Then he goes retrograde. He's coming back to exact that point. At that point, he turns direct and he goes and it's passing exact that point that he was direct. You to understanding that Mercury retrograde is asking you to revise a period that it's gonna be of something that happens in the past, to evaluations from it in the past, and situations that was in the past. What it is, what is it you saw, what did you say, what did you going to do, and what is the things are going to be on this period of time. More important is that he's gonna go back and gonna move us forward because he's gonna send us back as soon as I'm talking to you. He's turning retrograde currently. Right now it's 5 o'clock and 55 minutes up here in the morning, and he's gonna send us back in time. We're gonna go back of what we did between now and 25th of November. And that setback between what happened between 25th and November and now, that setback is going to be between now and 22nd of December. So we are talking about for this eight, pretty much 8, 9 days in there, about we are going to be revising this period of time of pretty much, we are talking about 3 weeks. What happened in the past 3 weeks in there? And then he's going to take a whole month to take it back and move that energy back into where he is today, which is that's going to be 21st of January. That is going to be entering of the authority and that energy of Pluto entering Aquarius. So to look at this in there, I have some shot for you. This is a from 25th of November. That is the degree that right here, you know, when you have a Mercury down below, that was these divine energies between Venus and Mercury. Are you going to be resonating with that divine energy that is under Uranus? He's going to set you back into this point of time. Look at the degrees, 22nd degrees of a Sag. And talking about that energy, what we had is that revaluations in there of the masculine energies with Saturn. Okay. And what is going to happen is he's going to give us a back at the same place, basically. We're talking about this energy of 8 degrees, where he is going to be, as he is today, of almost 9 degree of Capricorn. He's going to be on 21st of January. As you see it on the 21st of January, right in here, That is a Pluto and the Sun entering Aquarius. So the journey is gonna be all about you, about the truth, all about the things that is inside of yourself. That is a from set back, move back, readjust, reset, reevaluate, redo, rethink, and reconnect. Okay, reconnect. So I'm just gonna go by days, the way this is gonna go for it as it right now for it. So we're gonna be monitoring this Mercury right here because talking about tomorrow, Mercury, as I said in the daily report, it is about these energies with Venus and that energy with Jupiter that right now he's turning retrograde. That is the reason why he turns retrograde. Something with the love, something within the shadow, something that it needs to be rethink and redo with the learnings of the growth about material possessions. What are you going to do about materialism inside of you? What do you know about the materialism inside of you? It takes and talk to yourself in a very professional, profound way, as the Capricorn is. If you ever been working with the Capricorns, you'll know that they are a little bit over the boat about being professional and perfections in there. But you need to understand that separates the pro from the amateurs. Okay, some amateurs they have what is that? Luck, which is called um, a good flow of situations of life. That's what the kind of like the description is. But when we're talking about with this, that energy is gonna set that back, and you have to look at it inside and reevaluate. What do you see? What do you missed? Why that love is in the shadow is the current moment, present of time, and what happens in there with Uranus, who had that beautiful divine energies between Mercury and Venus. So, talking about in the next day, right there, we are going forward. Mercury is still retrograde in the 8th degree. That same energy is going to be continue. The moon is going to be going with Pluto, focus on those energies that we need to look with the universe. We need to be looking at the energies that it's going on with us, specifically talking about since this is going to be Earth matters, we are going to be looking at when the midheaven is at Virgo, but you should not take that because this is only like in 1 hour of the energies in there. As that transitions begin up here, we are looking at those energies of Uranus with the Sun and Mars. As you see it, Venus right here, she's going to be beginning to have an, oppositions with Uranus and Jupiter at the same time. This can be a very hard on some of the feminine energies. Take a look inside of you, your understanding about love with others, your feminine energies, your understanding about deeply the intimacy inside for it. This is gonna be some challenges time, but those challenging times, they're gonna bring some positive directions. And the next day, which is that is the 15th in there, as you see it, Mercury, it's still coming down as a retrograde. He's got that sextile with Venus and continue to have that trines with Jupiter in there, but that energy is more related also with these transitions that it's coming for you. So on the next day, we're talking about that is going to be the 16th of December. The moon is going to be at Aquarius. If you have an aqua moon, you know what that is causing it from with it. But be mindful about that square with Jupiter. We're talking about your understanding, your intuitions, not to go against the growth. Usually, that's one of the people when this retrograde is like, okay, I'm not growing, I'm not moving. It is the other side that doesn't help me to grow. And you are like, I'm abandoning the other side. I let go of the other side. That is going to be a trigger in there because the moon, it's also going to square Venus. That's the feminine energies. Usually the feminine energies when they are feeling a little bit alone, so they can figure things out within them and they can't, and they asking for help or something. They're like, you know what, I'm done. I can't just handle this. The energy is too much. What happens is there they have to look at their internal balance with this. This is going to be a very kind of like a temporary energy, but a sense that Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius energy is. Be mindful of what you learned in the past almost 2 years, even a little bit more about this Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius energies. Talking about this because Uranus is in Taurus. When Uranus is whatever he is, in the past 5 years, we worked at self development. We work with this self innovation, re-innovate itself. After resurrections, you remake yourself. After your egos die, you did that. That's a lot of the humanity begins to be awakened in there, and that affected Cancer, that affected Libra and a Capricorn, but Uranus moved into Taurus. And if you've been paying attention in the past 4 years, we've been dealing with mullah, money, where I'm going to live, what I'm going to do, and financial relationships and ego situations and reinventing new things and going into the underworld. So, talking about in the next day, the moon's still gonna be at Aquarius at 22 degrees in there. Mercury is already 7 degrees out, going back towards Sag. He's going to be trining Jupiter, which is that energy of retrograde Jupiter with the retrograde Mercury. That's gonna send you back in the past, what mistakes you did in the past, and how you need to talk to yourself not to repeat the same mistakes, because evolution can make you reevaluate, but still the evolution wants its evolving. You want to evolve. You want to grow up. You want to grow with someone. You want to grow with love. You want to grow with the proper things. You don't want to have the false. You don't want to have all this fakiness. You don't want to have a fake house. You don't want to have a fake atmosphere. You don't want to have fake energy. You want the real thing. And that's what Jupiter, that is in Taurus, he wants the true deal. He wants the truth. And who delivers the truth? Mercury. He's the messenger of God. God punishing him because he's been stealing the shoes, and since he's the fastest thing that exists, God punished him for 6 months to serve him. That's usually what the pre-shadow, the retrograde, and after shadow period throughout the year is. All right, so talking about in the next day for it, that is going to be the 18th. The moon is going to be meeting with Saturn and within Pisces. That's going to be helping with Jupiter. It's going to be helping with the Mercury retrograde in there. Mercury is 6 degrees already, and the Sun is 4 degrees away from this point of between Capricorn and Sag. Um, Basically that revolutions in there with those, it's gonna trigger a lot. You're gonna find the mysteries of Mercury retrograde within yourself, mysteries and limitations that you miss something. And when you looking at inside of you, what do you miss? Maybe you missed it from a month ago, okay, but maybe you missed something from the beginning of time. And this is a kind of like a go back within the earth, and the earth originated. Some of you maybe even go back within yourself, digging at patterns that has been long digging up within your DNA. That's how far this can go. This is a very powerful energy. And we're talking about in the next day, the Mercury, it's about 5 degrees. The Sun is at 27 degrees of Sag. Mars is going to begin to square Neptune and the Moon. This is going to be that intensified energies over Mars. It's like, what is it going on? What is these feelings? I don't know what these feminine energies are doing. What is it that, and so on? Why everyone is irritated? Why nobody communicates like a people? While there is no this, what is no that, and so on and so on. Mercury is going to be squaring everything in Libra, lack of balance. And if you paid attention before that, on the 25th of, I'm talking about of 25th of November, he was in divine energies, divine balance with Venus. Mercury is sending you back and asking you, where is your balance now? Why are you out of balance? Is it something was not truth? You're the one not truth? The growth was not truth? Because the performance is not right. I need to go back into the expressions and teach you something in there, how to talk, how to communicate, how to express yourself, how to redo the things. And then I'm going to send you back to do the things because Mercury is going to go back. Mercury is going to ask us to back up the words with action. And talking about it the next day, as you see it right in here, Mercury and the Sun are very kind of like a coming close in together for it. The Sun begins to have this kind of like a first quarter moon and a quarter with squaring with Neptune. Mars is still have this energy of not seen behind the veil. What he needs to see? He needs to see the universe. And since the Venus is still in Scorpio, she's not seeing the universe. Familiar energy the way she was with Mercury and Jupiter. Right now she has a familiar energies, but this time with Neptune and Uranus. So if it's you need to look at it that any place there is intense energies, there is also a venting point of the energies. The only way to go through the tunnel of the other side is to go through it. And see within that and the gravity standpoint in there. Look at it, not the confrontations, but what the confrontations is making you do, making it see. Some of you maybe feel like you're pushed against the wall and there is no place in there. But that going into the wall is going to make you think, what did I did to get there? All right. So talking about in the next day, as you see it right here, the Sun is at 29 degrees, Mercury is at 2 degrees there. The Moon is already shifted with Chiron within Aries. There's going to be a very good, powerful energy to Mars. Mars is like, okay, I can understand my actions. I still have to have the faith, the trust within the universe. The authority is going to be working with Jupiter. Is like, okay, I need to focus on that growth. I have to go ahead and prepare for movement. Yes, the authority is going to be prepared to movement because enough of talk, enough of expressions, enough of situations. I need to go do the work. Yeah, but don't do the work prematurely. And Mercury is going to let it know that in the next day you're going to see it that Mercury and the Sun, they're exchanging places here. The Sun is at 0 degrees 9 minutes at Capricorn. Mercury is at 1 degree 21 minutes at Capricorn. So during that exchange of energies within the authority, and there who is involved? The Moon, the intuition. The intuition is gonna tell you, listen, growth that sent you back. Listen to Jupiter. He's the doubler. This is like you investing in the market when the market is high and you're expecting the market to grow so you can sell even higher than that. But the market goes down and you're wondering why the money doesn't grow. Yeah, the money doesn't grow in trees. Somebody has to make the garden. And talking about this energy as you see it in the next day, Jupiter, Mercury, and the Sun, they are 1 degree apart. Mercury went back into Sag, and the Sun moves into Capricorn. But that squaring here with Neptune is gonna be helping you in a way. Is like, don't do things right now. Don't face within this. You have to go ahead and learn what Jupiter tells you and see the restrictions before you do this. Learn. Saturn and Jupiter working together to help you with these transitions. The moon is already pretty much together with Uranus. As you see it, there is these divine energies that it's coming in there, but that is going to put tensions here with Venus. The Venus only options is to seek her own visions, trust her own visions from within, trust behind the mysteries, and reconnect with the energy of the universe. If you have something in Libra, is going to be strongly helpful. At the same time, if you have something there is in Sag with those divine aspects, if you have something within that, that is about give it a take, maybe like in the mid Libra in there into the mid Sag, that can kind of like have a very good aspect on you. Maintaining your balance, do the balance that you have within, and continue as going with the road that you go with it. Talking about the next one, that is going to be Christmas time for it, and you see that picture of Christmas the way it is. The moon, it is between Sag and Gemini. Too much about the material situations, money spent, and so on. You may be thinking about, man, how much I did, what did I did, but that is going to be about divine energies here. Okay, we're talking about the Mars and the Moon. There's going to be a very good divine energies here. So is with Uranus in there. What's interesting with this is that those unclarified visions of the masculine, it's like, I don't see what's going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's cooking. You don't have to know. You have to reevaluate. Don't focus on the future if you haven't reevaluated your past mistakes. That cannot bring you evolutions in growth for the future that you are worried so much about it. And that's what the evolution wants from you. All right, so we're talking about the 25th. Mercury is pretty much going to be affecting this. Be mindful about those masculine energies, the authority. It's kind of like a releasing of that square, but Mercury begins to be squaring, and Mars is still squaring that visions. At some point, they're going to come together. There is something inside of you as a masculine energy as the visions that it's kind of like I'm tired of blind. You don't tell me something, Corey. I'm missing something. I don't say something, or I'm hiding something. You're gonna find out that if something is not quite right. The moon that is gonna be traveling through Gemini is gonna be, are you friendly? If you have something at Gemini at this moment, you may be have a lot of triggers with the friendliness with in your own self. Look where the Gemini is in your chart. That is about socializing, friendship. That is the third year. That is the third year when you supposed to go to the daycare and making a friends. If you're not at the daycare, you're playing out in the streets. and making friends in the streets. How's that developing for you, and what is that affecting you right now? Where is that friendshipness on your chart is? Okay, if that is the fourth house, that's mean you gotta have this friendliness at home. If that is at your seventh house, that is that friendliness in your marriage. If that is a beginning of your 10th house, is it work? If that is in your 12th house, oh, you're better socializing with a lot of spirits around you. You probably don't even have a lot of spirit that goes on in there, especially if you have any of the aspects with a planet or something with Saturn in there. All right. So talking about the 26 in there, the moon of that Gemini energy is going to be triggered this Mars. Usually that is the time where the masculine energy throw in a fit with Mercury, and they're kind of like, I'm tired of this communication. I'm tired of these situations. I'm calling it quit. Yeah, but you don't see things. The people who quit, they never win. And if you quit now, the universe is going to create the same situation so you can face the same thing. Okay? If you have not learned that part yet, you better learn this. So might as well, when the situations like this that's coming, look at within yourself who is not happy. Your ego, your dweller, your lower self. You have not understanding to keep you cool. Well, that's what Uranus wants you to learn. That's what Mercury and Mars are getting together, but there is a divine energies with the universe. So basically, you're gonna feel like the universe is punishing me and puts all these tough energies and all this anger and all this I don't understand these situations. And you want to be them your friends with my enemy. Poof. Nobody says you gotta be a friendly. But you gotta appreciate the people who's been in there because they helping you to grow. The evolution has to triggers you. If you don't have things to triggers you, how are you gonna evolve? That energy is gonna be a very interesting because that is related, as you see it. The moon is in divine energies with Venus, and Venus right here is sextile with Pluto to transforming, and Pluto is the one that says, "Come on, I'm gonna give you a new road." Everything is preparing you to push you to your limits to get there. But the masculine energies, they're gonna have a rough time. And if I'm you, and that agitation kicks in, or situations are coming in, look at yourself. The reason you're agitated, that it's probably you, not the other person. Maybe the other person using your weaknesses to make you agitate. They're weak, not you. Only weak people using other people's weakness for their own advantage. Thinking about that way. And when you know that, it can help you to find the truth meaning. And that's the some of the part of Mercury retrograde, finding out the truth. And talking about this energy, says the moon moves into a Cancer, that is going to be this full moon opposition. And some of you, it's like, man, this is going to be tough. Well, that is about to understand the proper energies about family. As you see it, overall energy is going to be great and good. But if you are not understanding what family is, if you haven't passed into the secrets and established that authority with the people and have that right growth in there, so you get this angel wings here, guess what? You're going to only face the opposition. But if your opposition is not there, she's not going to be to tell you, hey, I have a wings for you. So as you see it within those energies here, the divine energies towards Uranus is going to be very well up here. But that visions, that cloudiness of Mars, when a warrior it's blinded and he's trying to do something, fight something, he gets angry, right? So please leave your weapons away from the bedroom, but also refrain from any disturbing messages, nasty grams, and be wise with your communications. This is one of the times, basically, when a Mercury is retrograde with Mars, you two do a lot of misunderstanding or act on a base of agitations and anger. All right, so we're talking about 28 right here. They're still really pretty much together for it. But currently, the moon is going to be, and that position is going to give the divine energies that it's all about family and understand this growth. This is going to be a huge relief because you're going to have some authority that probably going to be a mother energies, or this is going to be a some female authority energy that you're accepting as a mother from within you, that is going to help you to understand what this is. But careful with all those energy here. If you have something in Libra energies, and be mindful about those energies between Venus and Saturn. Venus and Saturn, when they're the square, usually that two things happen. You're limiting the love or understanding about love, or it's the limits about the wrong love you learn. Indulgence is not love. It's one of the things. But Venus is going to be a pretty okay with transformations and the visions that she's going to get, and the moon at Cancer and Neptune at Pisces. That beautiful trine right here is going to be very powerful. Very powerful. Because this moon is going to be cooperated with Uranus. Uranus is going to be cooperated with the masculine energies here. As you see it, the visions about the proper family, it's going to coming to you. But at the same time, that energy goes into a Neptune, that energy of Neptune, it goes into Pluto, and from Pluto going into Venus. This divine energy between Venus and Jupiter is going to begin to kick in. Some of you people is going to be feeling like the love is rising from the shadow. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That energy is rising from the underworld. The question is what did you learn? Did you learn your things? And there. And Saturn is like, don't act right now. I'm stopping you from actions right there. I want to make sure you learn properly. But if you learn properly, you will understand the proper visions. You will understand the transformation process. You're going to see the right visions. Those right visions is going to be working with the universe. And the universe is going to be helping you to establish the emotions of the mother in family. All right, so we're talking about that is going to be at 29th of December there. Mercury and Mars are still together. That energy here begins to really kind of like a piling that up. The moon is at Leo, which is going to bring you to that square with Jupiter. And if you don't grow materially, if he's not rich, if he's not that, if he's not been changed about this and so on, maybe things are not good for you. Bing. You have not learned anything yet. Have you learned these energies during the Leo season this year? Hopefully you did. And we're talking about these divine energies from the sun that's going to be towards the moon, and from the moon towards Saturn. Divine lessons between authority and intuitions. Divine lessons between mother and father. But they have to go through things to learn a transformations, to learn the relationships into a totally new way. So it's the 30th right now. This energies begins to evolve. As you see, the moon is at Leo. That is going to be helping with the divine energies of the sun. The sun, it is beautiful. Beautiful trines here with Jupiter. He's still retrograde, and that energy Saturn, Sun, And Sun Jupiter is going to be helping pass beyond the threshold. Okay, but the threshold is connecting with the Venus. Saturn is holding Venus. As Venus, it's coming out of the underworld. It's too early to talk. It's too early to do this. Before, when he came out of any kind of like a depression situation and so on, before you go back into the real world, take your time. Take your time. And this is why Mercury retrograde is tell you don't communicate. Because if you communicate about certain things, Saturn is going to be like, you're not really configuring everything. You just came out of the biggest battle within, and you right away, you building things. Come on, take your time. So on the next day, which is that's going to be 31st, Happy New Year. On that situations right there, this is going to be the New Year's energy for the moon is going to be at Leo. That is a like oppositions with Saturn. Some people have not learned how to behave in Christmas, of course. There is always going to be these people that, oh, you don't love me, oh, you're not this, oh, you're not that situation. Indulgence. This because of gifts. You don't like the gifts. You don't like this situation. You had a different expectations. You have a different, your point of view, your own control, your own um, pushing the way the love is compared to what real the love is. And looking at those energies, that is going to be squaring Venus and Venus squaring Saturn. Of course, Saturn is not going to let you go until you don't learn that lesson that whatever thinks about the materials possessions with others. Because just because someone has a material possessions and you think you're in love with them and you're going to be tricking them in love, that is going to make you they loving you and they do whatever you said. That's not love. That it's called pure manipulation. And the moon of Leo is going to be looking at that issues because Pluto and Neptune sees everything. But if you recognize what the right situations is, this energy with Mercury retrograde and Mars with the intuitions, that wisdom of the kings, the queens in there, together with these divine energies, they are going to be, I know what is going on. And I know what the situations is. I do have to take and trust the universe, trust the divine. As you see it, the whole point there is you to evolve. All right, so 1st of January, Happy New Year again. Thank you for everything, guys. And Mercury is right in here, and divine energies with Uranus. The moon is right here at Virgo. Healing process of Venus is required, and that is still opposing Saturn. And this is why you have to go through a certain rehabilitations, rehab, maybe talking, maybe you're deciding to rejuvenate something, to reduce something within you. But that is going to be also a very beautiful energy with the sun that is at Capricorn. Take the professional way. You see something is not right, whatever the situation is, you go and fix yourself. You're in the hospital. The best doctor is the authority at Capricorn. And you have the universe that is at Taurus and your own growth. Currently, Jupiter is going direct. So from now on, you're kind of like free to make the actions of the growth that you need to do. Because you learn what you're supposed to learn there. As the moon going into Virgo, she's gonna be squaring Mercury and Mercury, as you see it right in here, he's at that 22nd degrees. Okay, and this is going to be the time that he's going direct. I see what is the situations. I see these duality conflicts. I see what I have to be, and I'm ready to say the proper visions and actions. And that is going to come in with the authority that is at Capricorn. But don't forget about it. This whole period is also of this cycle of completing the cycle of the new moon at Sag. Until the moon does not meet the sun at Capricorn, that cycle is not over yet. All right, so Mercury's come back on that point of November 25th. And as you see it, those energies, divine energies right here, they are with Uranus. So going back in there at the 25th of November, that's the same 22 degrees where Mercury was. What is the issue here? You still have the same communications, the same reset. What is different here is you have that restrictions to act in the material world in a proper way. But who is right here at that degrees of Sag? That is Venus right in here. So before, Mars had to learn these lessons with Saturn. Now is Venus that has to learn these lessons with Saturn. What do you have to learn? The same lesson as the masculine energies, learn it from before. And you listen the universe, what it's telling you, or you listen somebody else. Be mindful those Mercury retrograde don't get inflicted of friends. You can reach out for advices and so on and there, but don't make a decision because you're not looking deep inside of you. Mercury retrograde, it is about you to look inside of you. All right, so talking about the 4th of January, Mercury is already begin to act more. You're gonna feel this power, this energies that it's coming. The moon, it comes in at that point where the Venus was back on 25th of November. This divine energy is gonna be reminded to you. And who can remind you? Your intuition. But currently the intuition is opposing the sun. That is it at the 3rd quarter. As you see at the moon, it's 14 degrees. The sun is at 13 degrees up here. That energy is coming and it's gonna be telling you the last quarter portion of the lessons you need to learn. And we're talking about in the next day, which is that's going to be the 5th of January. The Mars is right here. It's crossing into Aquarius, the masculine energy, to Capricorn. The masculine energies are turning to perfections. You're going to find out like all of a sudden this masculine energy is really productive. It's time to get to work. I had enough. I had enough of these situations. I understood what I had to understood this Mercury retrograde season. I get it. I have to go ahead and act with Jupiter. The authority is ready to work with the universe right now in there. And the moon there is that Libra tells you, do it, but make a balance. Because if there is no balance, you go with the war. You haven't not transformed, you're going to destroy it. Everything that you've been working so hard for it. Okay, so be mindful what you've been working in the past half a year or even more about this. Because right now Jupiter going direct and it says like, let's go, let's grow, let's go do this, let's cooperate, let's build, let's manifest. Like, you're the manifester, you can build it, you can go ahead and create it. But when you have the right mindset and understanding of what the pitfalls are down, then you're going to understand properly what you have to do. On the next day, the Mercury is 23 degrees direct. He's kind of like he's going to be speeding up. The energies, pay attention to this guy right here, which is Pluto. Okay. That energies is going to be kind of like, make sure to transform. If you're not transforming situations, you are going to have to find a different ways. What is the different ways there are? The only different ways right now, Pluto is working with Neptune. They've been dancing this dance for a long time. If you feel shadow fogginess within your mind and you wonder why you cannot change things, you have to look deep behind the veil to change things. You have to look within the mystery world. You have to learn new things, new situations, and create the new actions, of course. All right, so we're talking about the 7th of January. The moon is opposing Uranus there. That can be a little bit of energies because the intuition tries to find the universe. And I told you many times, you can't find the universe, but the universe give you a fight so it can evolve. And you should be thankful because your problems are blessing in disguise as long you accept them as a challenges within. That energy of Mercury is still gonna be here about the visions, about the situations. Be mindful what you have such Pisces situations are here. Okay, just be cautious. At the same time, be cautious what you have at Virgo and Gemini situations because usually that energy right here is affecting across. And when we're talking about that across, what you have is going to be triggered. All right, so Mercury is going at 24 degrees of January 8th. In there, the divine energies with Uranus is pretty good. The moon is in divine energy. Venus is in divine energy. Mercury begins to have the divine energies. There's basically a lot of support right now. It's coming because some of the people is like, oh my God, I can't. I have to leave everything to God. Oh, yes, you do. If you have now learned into this because you're not following the energies, what they've been telling you. You have not. And the only person who can learn is you. But that energy is from Saturn blocking like the feminine energies. And there, some of you is going to be blocking their own personality, lower dweller energy that simulates intuition. So the intuition can go even higher and connects into Jupiter and later on connects into the universe itself to materialize in the world. Your mindset have to be set for that growth. And that's happening here with these expressions. But if you have limitations, you have not grown, you have using this, Saturn says, you're not ready, I'm not going to let you. It is what it is. So talking about in the next day, Saturn is releasing this energies. Now the divine energy of Venus and the moon are very powerful. They're cooperating with the universe. Probably most of you learn your lessons. The sun only aspect currently is with the universe as you see it. The feminine energies and the Mercury, they are cooperating. The authority is cooperating. Mars currently is in a very good position. He doesn't have increased aspects. The only thing increased aspect is currently Mercury and the moon. They are still talking about, but I don't see it. I don't see it. You don't see things because your ego is blocking you to see the truth within you. And Mercury shows you this when he was retrograde. Now he's asking you, can you break it? Can you break it? Can you break that old paradigm? Can you break all these energies? Because I'm going to be going into Capricorn. I want to talk about professional and good stuff. I want to tell you what happens in you. As you see it, overall, the energy is going to be incredibly great after this. The moon is going to be joining Mars. Plenty of courage, plenty of growth, plenty of understanding, plenty of limitations removed. And you see this angel wings and blue I'm talking about. When you started from here, going there, right there, and right there. You're experiencing those when a Venus was the beginning of the lessons and there. But that's going to be, remind you, only like a certain amount of days in there. And that's going to be most early in the morning. All right, so we're talking about it's 11th of January. Venus is Gaff. Only divine energies with the universe. Feeling alone, and then the universe said, I told you so. Listen to me. Now, if there is some issues, you have to be in my hands. And this is why you're going to be living the love within the hands of the divine. Some of the people have to learn to let it go. As you see it, there is going to be a new moon at Capricorn. Very powerful energies with the Uranus. Mars has a very powerful energies here with Jupiter. Overall, the energy is going to be pretty good. Accept the mysteries. What is behind the mysteries? The mysteries will come to you. They're going to be revealed to you when you're ready. Because you cannot make someone who is blind from within himself to see things behind the veil. He has to be able to look from within to accept the mysteries within. All right, so we're talking about in the next day, that's going to be 12th of January. Okay, these divine energies, they're going to become, they're going to work. Divine energies between Venus and Uranus, they're going to be increased more and more and more. So in the next 3 days, don't expect anything pretty much different with that. Talking about at 14th, that squaring with Neptune is going to begin, but who learned that lesson? Mars. Mercury is currently crossing over of that professional communications. And we're talking about action, professional actions, professional descriptions. There is the new moon that it's there. The moon is with Saturn. The lessons has been learned. The situation has been. There is a new year. Time to move forward. Time to grow. Time to pass behind the threshold. Time for the things to move and go ahead as the way they should be. And we're talking about on the 15 and 16, the energy is going to be pretty much the same as it is, except that the moon, it's going and crossing here at Aries. That is going to put pressure of this Mercury, and later on with Mars, that is going to be some pressure of the new things. I don't know how to do it. This is a new thing for me. Learn it. I don't understand this. Go to the library. I don't know how this works. Go to college. I don't know how to do it. Well, do it then. Learn it. Evolve. That's going to help you. And we're talking about later on, the moon is going to be with Chiron. That is something that needs to be healed. And usually that is the days when some of the people realizing of maybe I should have been nice. Maybe I should have not sent these messages. Maybe I should have done this, this, and this, and this, and this, and that. Well, usually that is the time when you have to look inside of you. And talking about Venus, isn't that 22 degrees? Mercury was. And we're talking about that energy is going to be with the moon, and Chiron is about the healing. Are you going to be forgive and forget, or you're going to be still holding the grudge or whatever happened? And the next few days, the energy is not going to change that much, except that the moon is going to be here between Jupiter and Uranus here. Mercury is at the sixth degree. He is going a little bit forward and forward to come to the place that he was. As you see this energy here from midheaven towards Jupiter and Neptune, that's where Venus moved all alone. Venus had that energies. But right now, Venus is depending only of the support from the universe. She's not seeing it. Who's not seeing it? Temida, the lady that she holds, Libra. You have to be blindfolded to seek from inside. And talking about that, the moon moving right there, she's going to be even giving these divine energies. That's divine mothering energies towards Venus. Mercury is going ahead. And here is something very special going on in this area. This is when the Pluto and the Sun are coming together. That's 29 degrees, 41 minutes, 29 degrees, 59 minutes at Capricorn. You ending the old ways, and the authority begins to have the new ways that are done. And as you see it, this beautiful energy, we're talking about this friendshipness. This is why I was told you to keep eyeing at what you have at Gemini. When the moon comes in here, Mercury is going back at the point that he turned retrograde, and he turns back on us. As you see it, those energies here are the same energies with Jupiter. But this time, you already know the divine understanding and cooperations and the friendshipness within yourself. The truth to be honest to yourself that will reflect the truth to others, and the value of the social communications and life. Doing the expressions because that's what takes this Capricorn energies to be truthful, to be honest, because truth putting together with work, it is the new way of you to deal with this. And that day, we're talking about 21st of January, as you see it right in here, we have Pluto and the Sun. They're both at 0 degrees of Aquarius. You're going to feel these Aquarius energies. They're going to come in. They're going to be powerful. You're going to see the visions. You're not going to know what to do to it, though. The work in there. Jupiter is suppressing you there. But your courage of learning, passing the threshold, and standing on your ground will give you the rewards are being the best version of your own self at the current present moment of time. So don't blame Mercury retrograde. If you don't understand something, he has nothing wrong with you. He's just giving you a chance for you to grow and evolve. All right, guys. So that's what it was, the astrogravitational report about Mercury retrograde. Thank you so much for watching. Be love, and I will see you.